You realize, of course, we're going to have to take the cost of that mech out of your paycheck.
Out of your paycheck.
So sometimes you have to go backwards in order to move forward. Maybe you've heard that before. And you put your best foot forward, your best effort into a project, and you realize when it's all said and done that you've made a mistake. So after the final edits of a recent video on how to shoot a high-resolution panoramic image was all said and done, Bill noticed 3 errors in the uploading process, and I mentioned those 3 errors 3 separate times. Yeah, here's how I found out.
Phone call.
Of course, we got a phone call.
Yeah. You want
Oh, dude, look who called.
Bill Bailey?
Bill Bailey called right now. Let's just answer it.
All right, yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hey, Jason.
Hey, what's up, Bill? Dude, I'm literally recording with Jeff Hanley right now.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, yeah, hey, sorry for interrupting your shoot there with Jeff. You know that, real quickly, you know that video, how to shoot high-resolution panoramas you just completed?
Yeah, that video. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, well, I was getting ready to upload it to YouTube and doing the final check. Apparently, there was a little boo-boo in the, I found spotted in the final review there just before I uploaded it.
Wait, so I made a boo-boo?
Yeah.
Ah,
So I
geez.
don't want to delay getting this content out to our subscribers, so I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Well, I figure we publish the video as is, and we'll let the subscriber find the error. The subscriber that finds the error makes a comment telling us where the error occurred. We'll win a complete mecha setup that includes the R1 tilt tip.
What?
Damn.
You realize, of course, we're going to have to take the cost of that mecha out of your paycheck.
Oh my gosh. It's coming out of my paycheck?
Yeah, I figured you'd get a big laugh out of that one.
All right, well, I guess that's what we're going to do. Thanks so much for calling, Bill. I really appreciate the phone call.
We'll work out the details when you get back to the shop. Tell Jeff I said hello, and good luck with the shoot, huh?
All right, take care, Bill. Thanks so much.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
Wow, dude. Out of your paycheck.
Today, I'm going to show you my personal workflow on how to shoot a high-resolution panoramic image. It's so good to hang out with you again, sharing this time with your smiling faces. We're going to walk through how to shoot a high-resolution panoramic image. Now that's different than shooting like a Google or even like a 360-degree real estate photo. A high-resolution panoramic image is going to be more for like a landscape photography. You ever seen some of those really wide images and you think, man, that is so crisp, so clean, so clear. The resolution is like nothing I've ever seen before. Better than just a big wide-angle lens. How did they do that? How did they get into that space? Today is going to be all about that. I'm going to show you my personal workflow, how I set up the tripod head, how I get my gear on there, and the method with which I shoot a high-resolution, wide landscape photo. Now, what you probably didn't know is I've got a tripod head right here. Look at it. This is gonna be cool. All right, let me get my gear bag. Okay, it's not really quite that heavy, but it was fun to be dramatic. Before I get into this, I just want you to know that you want to make sure that you have a tripod that's gonna be stable enough. A lot of times we try to maybe cheapen up where we can, maybe we're working on a budget. Everything in photography seems to be very expensive, from camera bodies to lenses to software to the type of gear you want to buy, maybe even kind of the bag that you want to put all of your items in. It just seems like whenever you get to a place in photography and you're like, oh, I've finally got my stuff, there's like another item that you find that you could use or you could have or that you want. I'm the same way. I finally get to a spot where I'm like, oh, I've got my tripod, and then you find another tripod and you're like, oh, yeah, about that. I think I want a new tripod. Or a new lens, or a new gimbal arm, or a new rotator, or a new, or a new, or a new. It just never ends. One of those items for me is my bag. You know, it's been a good bag, you know, I just don't like it anymore. It's not really what I need. It doesn't outfit all the things I need to carry, so I constantly am strapping stuff to the outside. I feel like I look like Jed Clampett coming down the road, like with a pot clinging off the back. I don't even know. It's just, I'm not satisfied with it. I need a new one. If you have a recommendation for a gear bag, I would love to know what it is. Put down the gear bag that maybe you carry around and that you have so that I could check it out, because there's a lot of bags out there. If you're out backpacking and if you're out hiking, I would love to know what bag you are carrying around, because this one, it just ain't working for me anymore. Sorry. All right, enough about all that. Let's get into what I have in my bag when I'm shooting high resolution images, okay? One thing that should be noted is that the resolution that you shoot with will depend on how deep your millimeter length actually goes, okay? A lot of times in real estate, maybe you're shooting like 8 millimeters or so. Fisheye kind of thing, 4 shots around, boom, 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 you're done. You can be as high resolution as you want based on how much work you want to do in post-production. 35 millimeters for me seems to be like a nice little sweet spot. So this video isn't really the debate about gigapixels or gigapixel imagery or that kind of thing. It's really more or less trying to say, I want a better resolution image. I still have this tripod head here. This is kind of annoying. I'm going to drop it down until we're ready to put stuff on. I feel so much better. It's gone now. Yay. Just gotta grab a sip of coffee real quick. See, that's so much better than the... You remember that from a few episodes ago? Yeah, no. So getting back to the task at hand. Again, the resolution can be as detailed as you want it based on how much workflow you want to have on the back end, okay? That's photo editing, that's stitching, that's going back in post and kind of aligning all the stuff that you want lined up, or even putting in images that you have after you've assembled your panoramic image. And like we said in one of our hacks, tips, and tricks video, you could take an image that maybe you shot outside of the panoramic confines that you're going to drop inside. What's my workflow? My workflow is like this, okay? 35 millimeter, right? Here's a tripod head. I've got a Nodal Ninja 6. And that Nodal Ninja 6 is right here, and it's got an RD10 rotating head on it. I'm just gonna put this right on top, just like this. This is how you see it. Now, how do I tighten it on top of this tripod head? Well, the rotator has a locking knob on it, so I just simply grab it, and I'm not gonna torque the mess out of this thing and like just crank it on like I'm, I don't know, tightening up plumbing. This isn't plumbing, this is photography. So I just snug it onto the top of my tripod head, okay? I don't want to ruin the lock mechanism that's on the rotator, and I certainly don't want to just turn it so hard that I'm scraping the lock against the inside of the rotator. It's just on there snug enough to know that when I loosen up this locking knob, it's going to rotate in both directions without coming loose on top of the tripod. Okay, so once I've got that done, I'm going to be prepared now to put the upper assembly on the lower assembly of my Nodal Ninja 6. Here's my upper assembly, just like that. Now I have a stop plate pre-installed already on mine because I know exactly where my no parallax point is based on the camera body that I shoot with and the lens that I'm shooting with, as well as the millimeter focal length that I am shooting at. So again, when you're shooting a high resolution image, you want to make sure that your no parallax point is aligned to where your focal length is at, the camera body that you are shooting, and you're getting the overlap that you need, which we'll talk about in a second. Here's my camera body that I shoot with. I shoot with a Nikon D600. Lots of guys will shoot with lots of different cameras. That's okay. There's many camera bodies. There's better camera bodies than this one. There are less than superior camera bodies to this one. It's just simply the one that I'm currently shooting with. I'd love a new camera body, but right now, this is what I have. Get that puppy screwed on. Now I do leave it a little bit loose, okay, just so I can slide it, okay, until it hits that stop plate, and then I tighten it down, okay. So again, I've bumped it all the way to the stop plate on the lower assembly, bumped it all the way to the stop plate on the upper assembly, and now I want to make sure that I haven't bumped my focal length, okay, because I'm not using a lens ring. Now in the hacks, tips, and tricks video, we talked about if that lens ring is on there and you end up bumping it, you may not see that, and that would cause a problem, right? You would be out of focus. You don't want to be out of focus. So when I'm shooting, I start down here, okay? And if I'm shooting a wide landscape image and I want something that is gonna be really wide both this way and that way, I examine my surroundings. What is it that I am in front of? What is it I'm trying to capture? What is the look that I'm trying to go for with respect to when I'm shooting, what time of day, what kind of drama do I want to have set in here? Are the clouds kind of rolling in? Is there some steamy fog going on, kind of interlaced within the mountains? Look, whatever it is, you want to observe. Panoramic photography is an art form in and of itself. You want to make sure that you're setting yourself up right where you think you need to be as well. It's more than just getting up on the side of a mountain and shooting the landscape and going home and being done. Just always check the surroundings. If you go out to where everybody else is standing, your photo is going to look like everyone else. Try thinking outside of the box, even in landscape photography. Get down low, get up higher, maybe climb down to a place where no one's ever been before. Or if you see a vista where other people have taken photographs before, maybe find a different one. If you're in a cityscape and you kind of see like that same Times Square photo and everyone's always been in there, maybe try taking it from a different angle or a different perspective altogether. You can do landscape photos wherever you want, however you want, because you're the artist. This is just how I do it. Okay, so when I say I'm gonna be pointing down, where exactly am I starting at? Well, again, I examine my surroundings. What's down below right at me? Is it just a street? Is it just gravel? Maybe it's a deep gorge, going into a valley. I want to make sure that it's a part of whatever the photo that I envision in my mind, it'll be a part of that. The other thing to consider is that when shooting just a panoramic wide image, right, not a spherical 360 style, but a high resolution landscape panoramic image, that you can sometimes kind of get some stretching on that lower half. So maybe you want to shoot down, like I start at 30 degrees. That 30-degree setting is going to allow me to kind of shoot way down, kind of have lots of earth underneath this photo so I can crop it out. So at the edge of my image, I don't have any, kind of funky pulling or stretching. I don't want the image to look quite like that. That's not what I want to shoot. I don't like that. I want a nice, clean, crisp, poppy image. No fuzzy distortion, not because it's from my lens, but because it's from literally like the software kind of pulling everything in to make sure that it's nice and smooth. With that said, I'm shooting my first image down at 30 degrees. Now for my rotator, how do I know what detent setting that I need it to be locked in at? I'm gonna determine that by a few things. One, what is the focal length that I'm shooting at? I'm shooting at 35 millimeter. So I want to set it up to where I'm getting enough overlap, about 30%. 30% is a real good benchmark to work with. Why is that? Well, depending on what kind of lens you're shooting, you want to stay within that sweet spot of the lens. Now, you're paying for a high dollar prime lens, edge to edge is just as crisp no matter what. You could probably lessen that. If you want to decrease your workflow by taking less images across, you can of course do that. If your lens maybe gets a little softer on the edges and doesn't quite have that crisp, poppy sharpness edge to edge, you may want to definitely have that 30% overlap, because that 30% overlap is going to allow you to drop those fuzzy edges off and stay nice and crisp. All your seams will be nice and good, nice and poppy, and that's kind of what you want. I'm at 15 degrees for my setting. It's comfortable for me, it's what I like shooting, it's just where I'm at. I like to start from my left-hand side, okay? The reason I like doing that is because when I have my camera up, that shutter release is on my right hand. So shooting it from the right hand kind of makes it smart, makes it simple for me to just kind of go left to right. Here, on this lower part of the rotator, I have degree settings. I'm facing the 0 so that I know when I'm shooting my first image, right, I'm putting my rotator indicator on the 0 degree. I know that if I'm shooting here and I'm going to be moving all the way around and I want to get that nice wide landscape look, maybe not quite 180 degrees, but more like about 100, 110 wide, my indicator is going to take me all the way around to, there's my 120 degree mark. Okay, once I get all the way around there, once I get all the way around where this indicator is showing you are moving on, that's when you know you can stop, okay? So how I shoot, I'm starting at 30 degrees down, I'm facing my 0. My rotator is set at 15 degrees for 35 millimeters, and I'm shooting all the way to 120 degrees. Then I stop. My percentage of overlay going this way is going to match my overlay going this way. I want to make sure that I'm getting a good amount of overlay. So I'm going to go from 30 degrees to 10 degrees. It's going to get me enough going up and down this way. I know that. I know that about the inside of my lens. I look at that waffle grid, or you also have these other grid lines that are within your lens that you can look at. If you don't have grid lines within your lens, simply find something within that space. When you look through the viewfinder, right, you're looking through that thing. Make sure that you're looking at it going, okay, that's 30% right there. And I'm going to take that and use that as my measurement. And then once you move up to the next one, use another indicator, making sure that you're getting the top of that mountain. If it's in the top of the photo, that the next line up, it's going to be to the bottom part of that photo, but you're still seeing that mountain peak. You're still seeing that stream. You're still seeing that building. Whatever that percentage is, it's going to make sure that you line up and you're getting that overlay. Now at 10 degrees, I'm going to shoot my next series of images in a row going left to right like I did the first time. So pop, pop all the way around to 120 degrees. So when I first moved it from 30 degrees pointing down to 10, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 click stops on the Nodal Ninja 6. The Nodal Ninja 6 has positive locking mechanism on the upper rotator. Awesome thing to have. I know that on my final series of photos, because I'm doing 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3, 120 degrees wide, I'm just going to count 3 click stops to the top now. So 1, 2, 3. Those 3 click stops take me at 15 degrees positive. Right? I'm going to take my indicator to 0 and I'm going to shoot my series of images around. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, all the way to 120 degrees wide. That is my setting for 35 millimeters at landscape photography. Getting the right gear, it helps you. If you have this kind of setup, you can go and you can have it set up to where you're not worried about your no parallax point. You can quickly throw it on a tripod, get your camera on it, and shoot a landscape image and create beautiful landscape wide photography. You can do this. You can create beautiful images that really are gallery worthy. You can. It's all about seeing the world as you see it. No one else sees the world the way that you do. Figure out what it is you want to photograph and begin photographing that thing. And I'm telling you right now, you will experience panoramic photography and wide landscape photography like never before. Thank you so much for watching today. Listen, hit that subscribe button. We are so glad that you're here with us. Ring that bell so that you know what's going on and you get updates and you see videos as they get posted. We love hanging out with your smiling faces. So until the next time, I will see you again. Get a Nodal Ninja 6 and start shooting some amazing panoramic images that only you can shoot. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great week, and thank you for hanging out with us. Peace.